You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network.
And we're back. What's going on, everyone? Let me know if you can see me, hear me, all that good stuff in the live chat. The Dream Team is back together. We're back together, but first, today's a live recap of The Real Housewives of Potomac Season 10. Is the legacy of Potomac in jail? Damn. Well, is it in jail? We have a lot to unpack. You guys have been asking for Lailah, Lynn, and Grace Report to come back. Before I bring our special guests up, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to follow our guests as well. And don't forget to get into our sponsor today, Factor Meals, as you know, on a busy Monday, because you know we have our Married to Medicine recap later on today. I have a live show on Friday. Get your tickets. There's a live stream option available right now. It's too busy to be thinking about what am I going to make, what am I going to eat? And you know I love to eat. Factor has you covered somewhere between the first warm weekend and realizing short season is getting close. I got my pom-poms ready. Eating well stops feeling optional. Factor is how I stopped letting a busy schedule be my excuse. Fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs. Ready in 2 minutes. No planning, no cooking. Quality functional ingredients, including lean proteins, colorful veggies, whole food ingredients, and healthy fats. More importantly, no refined sugars, no artificial sweeteners, no refined seed oils. But of course, I've got you covered. Don't forget, though, there are 100 rotating weekly meals, keeping things fresh and delicious through winter. So head to factormeals.com/Kempire50off and use code Kempire50off to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easy with Factor. More details on Factor and everything Kempire, including our guests, will be available in the description. All right, guys, be sure to like the video if you haven't already. Again, as I said to you before, tickets for the Kempire After Dark live show are almost sold out here in New York, in-person tickets. But live stream tickets are now available as well. So no matter where you are in the world, you'll be able to be a part of our explicit conversation. There's so much to get into, so much tea to be spilled. Taria Faison will be our hostess with the mostest. She's got tea to spill about Potomac, but I need to hear the thoughts of the original Dream Team. Let me bring up our first guest, legendary and icon. Lailah Lynn is here.
What's up, you guys?
Legendary and icon Grace Report is here. Grace said that she's got a lot of caffeine in her system. So
yes.
I'm excited. Ladies, first of all, I have not spoken because, you know, Grace and I, we do our little WhatsApp voice notes and things like that. Lailah, we do the DMs and whatnot. Yeah. I have no idea what's going on in everyone's lives. So I'm going to start with you, Lailah. What have you been up to? Congratulations on 400,000 subscribers.
Oh, thank you.
I'll be keeping it up. I'm watching.
Yeah. So I just been working. I do a lot. I feel like outside of YouTube, I do a lot. So I've been working outside of YouTube. But on YouTube, I've been working. I haven't done a class in a while, but I decided to do a class, like a YouTube class. Y'all know I do my content creator classes. So I'll find a link and put the link in the chat. But I'm having a class March 11th, like a small group class where we can get together and I can give people advice on their channels. Like I'll look at their channels and see what they got going on and how to tweak it.
That's this Wednesday. All right. I mean, we'll add it to the description after the live as well. That's amazing. Yeah. Congrats. Yeah. Family's good. Everyone's good.
Yeah. My son is actually homesick today. For the first time, he almost had perfect attendance. So I was kind of really looking forward to that because we're in March and he was almost there. Yeah. But he's homesick, but he's okay. We're going to the doctor later.
Oh, yeah, we get soon. Great. What have you been up to?
You know, the usual, still living my best Euro life. It's a lot of fun. You know, I have a lot of trips coming up. I'm going back to Spain at some point next week. I think it's like the 19th to 20th or something like that. Then after that, going to Greece, going to Toulouse, going to Tunisia, just a lot of traveling and stuff going on.
I love it. Yeah. And what's going on with like anything coming up with the channel? What can people expect when they go to your channel?
Yeah, so my channel, it's changed quite a bit this year. So last year it was all about live, which was a lot of fun. And this year I'm taking on the documentary world a little bit more. So answering questions like the rise and fall, thank you guys, the rise and fall of certain celebrities. I did Ashton Kutcher, Ariana Grande. I'm working on an Oprah one and some other people as well. and questions about where are they now as well are going to be answered soon.
I love it. Evergreen content, which I'm sure, you know, a lot of people don't realize, like, yeah, we report on the news, but are people going back to watch a story that broke, like with the Wendy of it all? Okay. The P is for prison. Let's get into Potomac, because I can't wait to hear your thoughts, because these are the people that I wonder what they think about what's going on in Potomac. First of all, we'll start with the lighter, the lighter side of Potomac before we get to the prison of it all. Yeah, I know. It's rough. It's rough in these Potomac streets. Yeah. But the newbies. Let's first start with, I was going to say Kiana, but no, let's start with her bestie. I'm going to put that in quotes because I'm not sure if this is true. Angel. Mm-hmm. Angel's the newest of this group. Lailah, like, how did you feel about Angel's trip this season that they gave pretty much like 5 seconds at the reunion?
Yeah, and Andy was like, we're never talking about that trip again. Let me say this. I feel like Angel gave something. There are people in this cast that gave nothing, but I feel like she gave something. She welcomed them, to her home in Colorado, even if it flopped. And I feel so bad that it flopped, being that her business, is related to travel and things like that. I feel like it's such a bad look for her business. But at the same time, I feel like she tried, a lot of the things that she got blamed for were not actually her fault.
Yeah.
But if she comes back, I really don't prefer whether she comes back or not. I don't care. But I do feel like she gave the show something. She gave the people something to talk about. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure that's a good thing, that you don't care if she comes back or not. What'd you think of Bobby? Bobby.
Bobby. The thing, this is another thing I couldn't tell. You know how Monique brought up that there might be some issues in their relationship?
Yes.
I really couldn't tell, because I felt like Angel was lying on that trip when she was talking about whether she wanted to be with the girls or be with Bobby at home. I couldn't tell who she was lying to, because she was telling the girls she wanted to be with them, but then she was also telling Bobby she wanted to be home. And I could not tell the difference. I could not tell, if there's an issue in her relationship. I really couldn't tell.
This is why I love when you ladies come, because you make me think like, oh my God, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, she was lying to somebody. But,
oh my God.
On another note, you know what? I'm going to keep it to myself. Bobby,
no, I want to know.
That part I'm going to keep to myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Your mind. Let us know, or tell us after the live. Ooh.
Yes, please.
Okay, great. First of all, what did you think of what Lailah just said?
I'm really like kind of hanging on for the tea and stuff as well. But I do think that Angel was mainly lying to the girls, because it felt as though, especially Monique, and you know how Giselle is always when it comes to marriages and whatnot. She felt like some kind of pressure, like this magnifying glass on her relationship. And so, yeah, I personally thought it was normal that she wanted to talk to her husband about sleeping over somewhere else. I think it's weird to just pop up and be like, hey, I'm going to sleep somewhere else, leaving you with all the kids and whatnot. Like, to me, the way that Monique did the whole, that's just a dad being a dad, it's no big deal, I thought that was ridiculous. And so I think that Angel, knowing that Monique was already like trying to criticize her marriage, and knowing that, messy, miserable Giselle would do the same thing, she kind of was trying to toe the line there. And that's why it came across a little strange.
Yeah. Here's the thing, and we'll get to the Monique of it all, because I have a lot that I need to pick your brains about when it comes to Monique's return. But Angel, I think a lot of people are sort of, and I'm glad she went to the reunion. I'm glad she showed up at the reunion. I feel like she showed up more than Kiana showed up at this reunion. I hear a lot of people saying, you know what? I didn't love Angel in the beginning of the season, but I want to see her come back. My only problem with Angel coming back is they were already attacking her marriage, trying to make Bobby seem like the angry black man, Ashley.
Yeah.
And for me, and this is me personally, I know some people have, they have their trajectory in life, their goals or whatever it may be. Maybe she wants to be a reality TV star, or maybe she wants something for herself, which she's entitled to. But I put family above anything. People that I love, children, my marriage above anything. Fame, no. I much rather have a happy, healthy family than fame.
Exactly.
That's me. Mm-hmm. That's me.
Especially when you're already rich.
I want her to come back. Say again?
Right. Especially when you're already rich, like in some of these other girls' situations, they have to kind of jeopardize their marriage, to get the bag and whatnot. But Angel, she's got the money. She's got the husband who loves and adores her. So what is she doing on this platform? And no offense to her, but she doesn't have the personality to really do much with the platform anyway. She's not going to become this huge person that everybody wants to follow, like this influencer or whatever. So what is the point other than to be a holding bag, you know?
I love Grace.
Yes, Grace is real. But my question is, you say, what is she doing on this platform? What if she married a superstar? And what if she's trying to show her husband she's a star too?
And remember, she used to do the red carpets for BET. So it's clear that she's always wanted to be in front of the camera.
Yeah, which a lot of people are rich. You know, a lot of people are rich, but they want to be famous too. You know what I mean? They want both. And so she might be in that boat where she wants to be famous too, but she might be in that boat where I kind of feel like Monique was, where she wants to show her husband, you know, she's a star too. It's not just him. We're both stars. Yeah. I feel like a lot of housewives fall in that. Yeah, it is a problem. Yeah, most of the time.
Do you think that she will actually make the decision to come back? Because she sort of put it out there like, I haven't made a decision yet.
Does she have the option to come back? Do they want her back?
Andy always says that he likes to give a new housewife at least 2 seasons.
Well, how many did Nneka get?
Oh, okay.
Good point.
She's like nothing hard.
And Nneka's still trying to get back on.
Yeah. Exactly. And she lives in Potomac. She's a socialite in Potomac. I feel like Nneka is more, even though I didn't like, when she was on the show, I hated her storyline. But as far as Potomac, I feel like she's more Potomac than Angel.
Yeah, well, that's true. This is true. And I think at any given point, if they were to say Nneka come back, I've even seen some people say that they feel justice for Nneka, bring Nneka back. But you saw at this reunion, Andy has an affinity to Wendy. He likes Wendy a lot. And I think Wendy was a big reason why Nneka did not come back. And I don't think she said to Bravo, it's either her or me. I don't think she has that type of power. But I do believe Andy really does like what Wendy represented before what's recently happened. And they made that decision, even Wendy over Nneka. But would you like to see Nneka come back?
No.
Oh.
Maybe as a friend to the show. But she would have to bring something different. That whole storyline she brought, you know, against Wendy's mom was not cool. And I feel like it was hard for a lot of people to follow. So if she came back, it would have to be something different. I think she had a baby. It would have to be maybe something about her family or something softer than what she brought the first time.
But there is nothing soft about the way she speaks to her husband. I think she hates that man. So I don't know if the family thing is going to be endearing. Like the way she talks to him is so vicious.
Yeah. Oh, good point. Damn.
Just saying.
Live chat. And if you're watching the replay of this, be sure to let us know your thoughts on, do you want to see Nneka come back? Do you want to see Angel come back? But one of the biggest moments of this season has to be Angel's bestie, Kiarna, her life, her picture frame, her business, all of it. We talked about Kiarna multiple times during our past recaps, guys. If you missed it, we've collaborated with Lailah, Lynn, and Grace Report multiple times. We even recapped multiple season longs. Kiarna and what she shared this season. Grace, like, how did you feel by the end of this season of Potomac?
I felt so let down by her. I don't know what she had, like, who put the battery in her back, why she was so, like, just argumentative and just so hostile the entire season. It felt like such a waste. Like, I really wanted for Kiarna to have a flute and everything. Like, I thought it would be a cool, exciting storyline and whatnot, but she was a flop. And I think we're 3 seasons in with her between Friend of and Housewife 2 seasons. So I'm not sure that I would like to see her come back, at least in the full-time capacity. And I would love to see her leave Greg once and for all.
It doesn't seem like it's happening. Lailah, like, how did you feel about Kay at the end of this season? That's why I had to have you both back, because we talked a little bit during the season, but like at the end of the season and everything that she offered or did not offer, how did you feel about Kiarna, Kay?
I felt like she is slow. Like, it confirmed to me, like, and I don't mean to be offensive or anything like that, but I feel like she makes herself useful, like, like, I feel like Greg runs circles around her. When he told her she had to choose between a condo and marriage, Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's so weird. But she actually made a choice. You know what I mean? So it makes me feel like she's slow. And then I feel like Cookie, the Cookie Monster, is behind Kay. Like, she is a puppet to the Cookie Monster. And the whole thing with Stacey, I feel like it's Cookie behind everything. So when I say she makes herself useful, I feel like people realize Kay, is, in my opinion, less than smart. And so people are using Kay. So, it's kind of like, I'm not going to say I want her off the show because it gives drama. Like, people are using Kay to bring drama to the show and she's letting them. But as far as her on her own, if nobody is puppeteering Kay, I don't know what she gives. It seems like she's only useful if someone is telling her what to say and what to do.
Yeah. Wow. Damn, not a useful idiot. That's what I thought when you said useful. And I was like, oh, wait.
Yeah, ID 10T all the way.
both of you did say something really interesting in regards to Kiarna. A lot of people are saying they don't want to see Kiarna anymore, but both of you said, I don't mind seeing her as a friend to the show.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, because I'm like done with her.
Really?
I'm done with her because we've given her so many opportunities. I call her Kiarna Beautiful Gown Stewart because I feel like she offers, and I feel like because pretty privileged, she feels like she's a beautiful woman. I think people just probably have always treated her differently because she's beautiful, and she doesn't feel like she needs to offer anything beyond that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
you're right.
I feel like I need more.
I feel like you can kind of compare her to Portia in that aspect. You know what I mean? Because Portia, her first season, she gave beautiful gowns. You know what I mean? Beautiful gowns. But then she kind of evolved, Thailandia, what have you. It was entertaining. It might not have been the most highbrow, but it was entertaining. But with Kay, I don't see the entertainment unless somebody is using her as a puppet. I don't see it for her either. Well, I actually see it for Angel more than Kay.
Yeah, it's interesting you say you compare her to Portia. I definitely saw Portia evolve and become actually a good housewife. Because you're right, her first season was like, and they weren't not considering bringing her back after her first season.
Yeah.
So you bring up a good point, but we've given Kay how many seasons? She's been there since 2023.
But what do you think about the comments on social media that she's only there so she doesn't sue the network regarding her altercation with Deborah?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm going to ask Grace. Y'all, the guests here, they hear enough of it from me.
I definitely do believe that was a factor when they gave her that first season. Then they decided to kind of like stretch it out, see if she was good. But at this point, I feel like that water is under the bridge. And so, it wouldn't be a bad idea for them to demote her back to friend of, or to just get rid of her completely at this point. I don't see her suing them, this far along after having participated for a few seasons after the initial altercation.
Yeah. A lot of people put out that speculation whether or not that's the reason why she secured her position. If I was Kiarna, I'd be like, well, damn, that's the only reason why they've kept me around? Yes. I don't know if I believe that in regards to why they've kept her around. I think because of the way things have played out, the P is for prison, meaning that, what's been happening with Karen Huger, what then happened with Wendy. I think the card just fell in her lap that way. I don't think the network was worried about her suing them or feeling like they had legal liability of, because of what happened. They signed good contracts to kind of keep their hands off, but you never know.
It says something that social media is you see a lot of comments on social media about that's why she's there. You know what I mean? It means people don't see her value other than that.
Yeah. Ooh, well, that's sad. Her picture frame. Well, I always have to say this though and remind people, because we've had lawyers look up the legal docs, what's been going on with Greg and his divorce. He's still in a custody battle with his now ex-wife. Oh, well, since we're talking about the friend ofs, Jazzy at the reunion brought up that Kiarna stole Greg from his ex-wife. Of course, Kiarna has come out and said the timeline does not prove that. Grace, how did you feel about, first of all, Jazzy and what Jazzy had to say at the reunion about Kiarna stealing Greg? Stealing Greg? Okay.
I think that Jazzy was doing too much. Like, and during this season, I liked her and I thought maybe she could be a cool addition or somebody to keep around in a Marlo sort of way. But at the reunion, she was just really trying as hard as possible to remain relevant. So I didn't believe anything that came out of her mouth. And I do not believe that her man is a millionaire either. All that stuff. Just, oh my God.
If you know anything about sports, and we have sports sneezers in the chat that have called in and shared a full understanding of his contracts and things like that. No, he definitely, he's no Bobby.
Bobby!
He is no Bobby. Okay, Bobby made nearly $40 million during his career. Just saying.
Damn.
I guess that's what Angel was talking about when she introduced herself to Jazzy and she let her know her man used to start. She was making it clear they are not the same. But I do like Jazzy.
Okay.
I like Jazzy's personality. Like I said before, I do wish they showed more of her wedding because there was a lot of drama there. And I would like to see more of her life. I would like to see Jazzy. I wouldn't mind if Jazzy replaced Kay. And we saw Jazzy's life instead of Kay's life. Because I feel like Kay's life goes in circles. Like people run circles around Kay. So Jazzy, let me see what Jazzy got going on. Even if it's just for one season. I would like to see,
Yeah, I feel like Jazzy really at the reunion could have had an opportunity to really lean into what you and I really did see potential for Jazzy on Potomac more than Kiarna. But I feel at the reunion she flopped it, leaning into that whole issue with Tia. Your issue with Tia was not a real issue. I wish she would have just let that go at the reunion and made peace. Mm-hmm. But the whole recording people. You saw everyone confirmed that, we've had a little bit of an issue with her recording phone calls and Stacey calling her out for that. Lailah, how'd you feel about that? If you found out one of us was recording our personal conversations, how would you feel?
First of all, it would be like, what for? You know what I mean? Like, what for? But no, I didn't love that. I didn't love that. It does give, she's doing too much. You know what I mean? But I feel like all of these girls have to remember their colleagues. Sometimes, and this is what I fought Kay for, sometimes Kay falls into this thing where she feels like they're really friends, but I feel like they're really colleagues. And so they have to keep that in mind. But at the same time, I'm not okay with Jazzy recording phone calls without people's knowledge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's too much. Like, I feel like you got enough going on in your life. Keep bringing your life to the show. Maybe one day they'll show it, but I don't like the recording phone calls. I don't like that.
That's weird. Mm-hmm. And I also believe in regards to the recording of it all, I think she didn't realize about the new iOS update where when you start recording a phone call, it tells the other person that you're recording the phone call. I don't think she knew that.
Yeah. Yeah, but it should. It should.
Yes. Grace, your thoughts on Jazzy recording the phone calls?
I feel the same way. I find it to be very creepy and weird. And it also goes with just like the thirstiness that she gives off. It feels like she's so desperate to be on this show. She wants to study, analyze every conversation, every interaction, to see what she can make a storyline out of and what she can use against the ladies. It's all just really weird. Again, I'm trying to give her a chance and I feel like her life seems interesting, but she's just extremely thirsty in a way that can be quite off-putting.
Yeah. Oh, well, since we're talking about the new friends, for those that are just joining us, I'm here with the Dream Team is back. Lailah, Lynn, and Grace Report are here. All of their information and what's going on with them will be available in the description. Don't forget to like the video, guys, as well. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. All right. Tia, how did you ladies feel about Tia and based on what you watched at the beginning of the season and how it turned out at the end at the reunion? Did you feel like she had a good reunion, Grace? Did she have a bad reunion? What'd you think?
I found her to be rather unremarkable at the reunion, to be honest with you. I'm trying to think of like what moment she had. I know that there was a moment between her and Stacey, her and Jazzy. Jazzy seems to think her husband is broke, which I'm quite curious about. But other than that, I don't know. Tia just wasn't really doing it for me. I'm disappointed in her allegiance with like Giselle and Ashley against Stacey. Although I do understand why she kind of flipped the switch on Stacey because Stacey did kind of lie, on her and it was really weird. But I would like to see her come back so we could figure her out a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Someone said tomatoes, Tia. Lailah, how did you feel about Tia at the beginning of the season versus how you feel about her now?
So at the beginning of the season, I did have high hopes for Tia. I like a proper lady. Like, I love that. I love what I thought she was going to bring to the show, but it fell flat for me. Once she turned on Stacey, it just felt like she was just going with the group. Like, everybody turned on Stacey. And I don't like that. As an adult woman, I don't like the bullying. I don't like to see a group turn on one person. And it felt like Tia fell into that. So I did not like that. I also, it's a small thing, but I also felt like her look, like Tia's hair at the reunion, I felt like it didn't turn out how she wanted it to turn out. You know what I mean? And I kind of felt like that was kind of representative of her season. Like, it didn't come together the way she thought it would come together.
You're on fire, Lailah. You're killing me.
I'm just saying. Like, the little curl, whatever. It felt like last minute. Like, it just didn't come together.
The reunion looks. Who were your favorites and your least favorite reunion looks?
Wendy was my favorite.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would have to say the same. I'm trying to remember what they wore. I think Wendy and Stacey were probably my favorite. But didn't Tia have a really beautiful dress? Was it hers that had the corset on it or something like that? I thought that was beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I my favorite look definitely was Wendy's. Definitely was Wendy's look. It just was perfection, from the hair, makeup, just everything, the styling. It was perfect. And quiet as is Kevin, we'll get to Wendy in a second. I feel like she had the best reunion. For me, she was the MVP, and I thought she would probably have the most challenging reunion. I mean, the prison of it all. But I mean, for her to overcome that and still have a good reunion, that says a lot, to just show up and look great.
Yeah.
Who else did I like?
Ashley? I think you like Ashley.
No, really?
Yeah,
No.
Ashley.
No, I didn't love anything about Ashley this season, at the reunion, the post reunion. No, none of it. In regards to Tia, though, the metaphor that you gave, Lailah, was perfect for me, because you're right. It really was representative of how her season went. I feel like with Tia, she should have let go of the Stacey of it all. And I'm not saying that, because, there's a lot of people that are just Stacey stans and whatnot. But that's not my thing. I think a lot of us agree that your issues with Stacey are not that deep. And it didn't be that deep. Yes, we know you have to relive these things at the reunion, but it didn't need to be. It seemed like she was like a dog with a bone, very much like the other ladies when it comes to Stacey. And your friendship with Stacey wasn't that deep. I wish you would have let it go. Very much like with the Jazzy of it all. Just let that go. Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
All right. Okay. Let's just get into the Giselle of it all. Okay. Giselle had no package at the reunion. So a lot of people are saying, because she had no package, do you think that was production or the network sending a sign that it's over for Giselle on Potomac after their 10 years that she carried this season, Lailah?
I was going to say Grace. I thought Grace was about to go in.
Oh, Grace, go ahead.
All right. Listen, you guys, honestly, I have just never been a fan of Giselle from the beginning. I think that she's just this massively dark cloud over the franchise, who only serves to kind of just do the whole producer's bidding thing to get people riled up and whatnot. And so I do think that the producers and whatnot, they hear the complaints that the public has against Giselle and against Ashley. So I do think one of them is going to go, but unfortunately, I don't think it's Giselle yet. But I think this is like the warning shot that she is replaceable, between losing first seat and then not having the package and stuff. And then her kind of running through like the stuff that was going on in her life and just, leaving the question of, okay, then why didn't we see it,
Yeah. Lailah?
Oh, that was horrible. That was horrible when she was like, they said someone was dating a congressman and she was like, oh, I thought you were talking about me and my congressman.
That was weird. Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt it was desperate. Like, if you didn't put it on the show, don't even bring it to the reunion. You know what I mean? Like, nobody cares, Giselle. If you didn't bring it to the show, we do not care. And so I do feel like Giselle was desperate. The things she mentioned about her family members and things like that, like her daughters, that's great, but that's their lives. You know what I mean? Like, what is going on in your life? And so I do feel like it was a warning shot to Giselle. Excuse me. And that's why I feel like I am looking forward to season 11 of RHOP, because I want to see if Giselle is going to turn it up a little bit, show her dating life a little bit, show something, because she hasn't been showing much. And it's like she's only valuable in controversy. Like she looks at other people's storylines. It's kind of like Dr. Heavenly and sees like, where can I fit in? Where can I cause drama in other people's storylines? And Dr. Heavenly has, decided to become a friend to the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for Giselle, it's kind of like either you're going to show up or you're going to back up and be a friend to the show.
Yeah.
How did you guys feel about her calling her stepmom evil and the stuff, the battle over the money and the dad's memorabilia? I found that to be very strange and like something that I really, again, wanted to see play out.
That civil rights memorabilia is in the hands of a white lady now. Lailah, how did you feel about it?
Grace.
The leaders were back then, it's nothing new. How many of them did that too?
Yeah, that's another thing.
Laugh a little bit.
Yeah, because you know what? I was talking about this. You know what?
Those were the rights they were fighting for. No,
yes, a lot. No. Grace is not kidding, and I'm not kidding either. When it comes to civil rights, a lot of those Black male civil rights leaders were fighting for the right to marry interracially. And it'd be fine, like for it to not be against the law. Like they wanted to be with white women, and that's fine. But that was their impetus for their fight in the civil rights movement. And I feel like Giselle's father falls into that. Even, I don't want to talk about Giselle's mother, but I just feel like he falls into that. And as far as her calling her stepmother evil, I don't know that lady. I don't know her to be evil. And for anyone to say, okay, the memorabilia is in the hands of a white woman, I don't know that lady to know that that's a bad thing. Like, I just don't know that lady. And I don't believe Giselle just off rip when she calls her evil. I don't believe her off rip.
But what does her dad
we don't know the lady,
deal with
and
it?
we also don't know. We know Giselle's character and what Giselle has done over the years. So, and she's done this. She's done this multiple times. Come on this millions of people platform and said terrible things about this woman. We don't know her. For all we know, she could be a terrible person, or she could not be, because we've seen Giselle try to villainize people on this show.
Mm-hmm.
And she's villain. But okay.
And I feel like if her dad wanted her or the grandkids to have certain items of his, why wouldn't he have given it to them kind of long ago? That's something else that I don't really understand at all. I know she was talking about the will, this and that when it comes to financial things, insurance, whatever, but physical goods, why did her father not give that to her physically? That's something that I find to be really fascinating.
Yeah. Look, like I said, in regards to Giselle not getting a package, I didn't think it was a big thing. Everyone keeps asking like, oh my God, because everyone thinks like, oh my gosh, Giselle is going to get fired next season. No, she's a useful idiot. Take a shot every time that we say that. Production likes to utilize her any way that they can. I feel the network likes to utilize her any way that they can. I don't see Giselle not coming back. Maybe it was a warning shot. I could definitely see that. But no, I don't. Giselle will be coming back. The person that should be worried, the person that went on a press tour after this reunion, is Ashley Darby. And if you look at the comment section, anything that's Ashley Darby, they are dragging. They're like, let this be Ashley's last season. She's been on there since the beginning, 10 years. They need to normalize giving some of these housewives a break. I know the housewives would never take it. They make $1 million checks. I understand why they wouldn't want to take a break. But Ashley's become so unlikable. Lailah, how did you feel about Ashley this season?
Listen, actually had me wanting to defend her, I guess you would call him her stepdad, who has never been on the show.
John.
John. She keeps trying to make him a storyline, but he is not on this show. We've never seen him on this show. And it's like, that's what Ashley has to offer, his life and his storyline and his struggles. And I don't feel like that's fair. Like, I would like to, for Ashley, whatever is going on in, you know what? I was about to say whatever is going on in her life, I would like to see, but actually I wouldn't. Because it's just, a rotation in and out of her bed. And I feel like when she appeared on Watch What Happens Live and she was talking about the guy, what's the guy on the show that she broke up?
Josh.
Mm-hmm. That she was sleeping with, what's her name, son? Sharice's son. Yeah. It's just a lot for me. So Ashley, to me, would have to be a friend to the show because she likes to start stuff. And I feel like sometimes the friends of the show, like they start stuff, they're spicy, they get things going. And so I feel like Ashley is best in that capacity. I don't know what else she has to give.
Do you think Ashley should come back as a friend?
If at all.
Okay, Grace, your thoughts on Ashley Darby?
I agree. I think it's time for her to go. She's just gotten way too irritating. Like before, I think it was always her husband, like, what was his name? Michael Darby, that was bringing the storyline and making her really relevant and whatnot early on. And she did have her own stuff going on, but these days it's just too much. We don't need another mini Giselle kind of driving things. And I also feel as though she didn't get enough heat for what she did with Charisse's son, and then implying that they hooked up, like actually, had intercourse. And then later kind of backtracking at the reunion, like, oh, like I was just making that up. Like, why would you as a grown woman, make up the fact that you slept with your friend's son that you'd known since he was a minor? Like all of that stuff was kind of swept under the rug. And I felt like it was weird. Like Wendy's comment was spot on. If you meet someone as a child, it's weird to sleep with them later on, even if they do become adults, because it's just creepy. It's weird. She didn't get enough heat for that.
I do feel like she definitely slept with him, but she backtracked because she saw the amount of backlash that she was getting. But I'm looking at Charisse with the side eye because Charisse went on a whole press tour, sat on Sherry Shepherd's couch for 10 minutes, wasn't promoting anything. She was talking about, and her son is sitting in the audience, seeing his mother talk about his sex life.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Lailah, how did you feel about that whole story that they turned into a big story? Sidebar, I'll tell y'all this. I've been saying this all season. What I heard, according to sources, was that the season was so bad that don't be shocked if you see Giselle and Ashley producing moments. And that's exactly what we ended up seeing.
Yeah. I heard that they said because Karen was gone, Ashley and Giselle felt like they had to turn it up. I heard that same thing.
And they felt like the girls weren't bringing it.
Yeah, so they were turning it up. Yeah.
But they weren't either. We knew nothing about them. We learned absolutely nothing. We, like Lailah was saying, we're getting into Ashley's stepdad, who we've never seen, his alcohol problem or whatever it is. The sister was brought on to cry about being, raised by alcoholics or whatever that home situation is. Josh was called on to be dumped on TV. And then in Giselle's world, I don't know what she was doing at all.
She was just doing this during the reunion. That's all she was doing, making that face. Okay.
I felt, I don't know, something about that gave me like the ick as far as, I know Charisse, she said her son wants to be a model. And so she's promoting him. And Ashley even said she was trying to throw Charisse a bone by talking about her son on camera. But something about that, like, it would have to be something else. Like me as a parent, I never want to be in that situation where I'm talking about my son's intimate, life like that. And I do think it's weird. I'm sure that boy called her Miss Ashley. And so to know him as a child, and then sleep with him as an adult, it is weird. It is weird.
Yeah.
Look, I don't put anything past Ashley. I've had an aha moment during this season, and I looked to myself and I was like, the more I watch Ashley's behavior over the last couple of seasons, the more I understand why she was with Michael Darby, because they were very much alike in a lot of ways.
Predators.
Exactly. Predatory behavior. So that's another reason I'm sort of like, I don't want to see Ashley anymore. I need a break from seeing Ashley on the show. And I feel like a lot of the people that have been watching the season feel the same way. But I also look at Charisse with the side eye in regards to how that whole situation, because I do believe, Ashley, that she was throwing her a bone because Charisse is so desperate to be back on this show. I literally, as you both were talking about this situation, I remember the family fun day that they had this season, and you see Charisse, and I'm like, Charisse, why is Charisse wearing like a negligee to this family fun day? And then when her son comes, she's like, hey, Ashley, look who's here. And I'm seeing the negligee, and I'm like, this is all wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway.
She's definitely on that. Very weird energy.
You're welcome. We talked about you again this season. But okay, fine. Guys, you're just joining us. I'm here with Lailah and Grace Report. Be sure to follow them. All their information and what's going on with them will be available in the description, including, don't forget, the Kempire After Dark live show is happening this Friday here in New York City. I am plotting and planning all the things that I want to get into, including Potomac. Taria Faison from the What Else Is Going On podcast, who's been in the room during this court case with Wendy Acefo, will be our hostess with the mostest, and she's got tea that she has not talked about as well. So stay tuned for that. let's get into a couple of these super chats. Thank you so much, Sweet Tea Talks. Thank you for the super chat. 3 of my favorites at one time. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. Sweet Tea, thank you for another super chat. Giselle was visibly worried. I loved to see it in regards to her not getting her own package, because I think that was like the first time that we ever seen that. I don't know. Member for 8 months, GC, thank you so much. Lailah introduced me to the genre. I love her both. I love both ladies. Thank you so much, GC.
Thank you.
Sweet Tea, thank you for another super chat. Sweet Tea says, I hope Andy and Bravo are listening to the fans. I really believe, because last season they offered regular Robin. They offered her a friend of contract, according to sources, and she turned it down. She wanted to be full time. Okay. Shady Reality TV reviews. Thank you for the super chat. We didn't see whether Giselle fought by herself or with her siblings regarding her death either. Right, and there was no clarification on that. Was that something also that her sister was, because she has a sister, right?
Right.
Yeah. So look, it's sad that after 10 years we're still sort of like, she has a sister, right?
Yeah, and maybe a brother. Because that's what I heard. People keep saying siblings plural. Like there's more than one sibling.
But she acts like she's the only child in the will and only her kids were beneficiaries as well. She's coming off really weird and greedy in that situation. Sorry.
Yeah. Love Calm Peace says, thank you for the super chat, Love Calm Peace. Who, John? Please say it, Kempire. That still tickles me. The fact that Uncle Lump is calling out, because they keep referring to it as that her stepfather. She never... Not even stepfather. She doesn't even say that. She's just like that man you date, basically. And right. Uncle Lump is like, who, John?
I love Uncle Lump. Y'all know that. If y'all watch these lives, y'all know that. I love Uncle Lump.
Uncle Lump is just like, he's like, why are we not saying his name? Who, John?
Say his name.
Hilarious. And you saw at the reunion when asked about it, she was sort of not wanting to get into it. Ashley's reading the... First of all, ladies, did you guys find out that I'm blocked by Ashley Darby?
Yes, you talked about it on the podcast. I think you're talking about Ashley and Stacey or something like that.
No, Stacey didn't block me. Stacey unfollowed me. After we met each other in DC, before that, she followed me. So I followed her back, and she unfollowed me when I got the tea about the whole TJ of it all. And she unfollowed me, but she didn't block me.
Okay.
I mean, buckle up for her next season. We'll see. But I was surprised because I knew it had to be recent that she blocked me, because I would be accosted by her post randomly. So I was like, wait, she blocked me? So it showed me that Ashley's a lot more sensitive than she pretends not to be on this show.
But it was probably good for your mental health as you scroll your Instagram, not seeing her posts. It's probably a good thing.
Thank God. All right. We're going to move on, because this is why I love having them both here, because we could talk for hours, but we don't have hours, y'all. I want to get into some of everything else that's been going on Potomac. Before we even got to the reunion, we had the season finale, which was the sit down between Andy Cohen and Karen Huger. Ladies, I have not spoken to you both about this sit down. How did you feel, Grace, about this sit down? So many people were saying there was no accountability. There were, why won't she admit that she's an alcoholic? What did you think, Grace?
That's exactly how I felt. Why wouldn't she admit she was wearing beige or whatever it was too? Remember the color, and she was lying about it? Oh my God. She was driving me nuts. And
maybe she's colorblind.
Please. She's allergic to just being honest, I feel like. And this is coming from what was once one of the biggest Karen Huger apologists. Ever since finding out how many DUIs she's had, watching her lie her way through the season, the other reunion, and now this sit down with Andy and acting really uppity. Like she had this like godmother role in prison and stuff, guiding the youth. Like, I'm just so sick of her. I really am at this point.
Someone called in and said that Karen acts like she was anointed to go to prison. Exactly. I'm like, the way of putting it. Lailah, how did you feel about this sit down between Andy Cohen and Karen Huger?
I was disappointed, because if you watch the commercials for it, somehow they spliced together in the commercials. It was a second of her saying, I am an alcoholic. It was something to that effect where she was owning it in the commercial. And so I was like, oh yes, Karen came too. She realized, that she is alcoholic. But then when you watched it, you realize, okay, she never said that. It must have been spliced together. So I was disappointed for the interview and the reunion when she never really, took ownership of her being an alcoholic. And I don't know, some people, as far as the Christian religion, they say you speak over yourself, like you're overcome by the power of your tongue. So you don't want to call yourself something that you're trying to get over. So I don't know if that's why she didn't want to admit to being an alcoholic. Like, I'm not going to say that because then I am that. Yeah. But if she did express that, they didn't show it.
Yeah.
And so that's the only pass I'll give her if it was like a faith thing where she didn't want to say I'm alcoholic because of her faith. But other than that, I felt real iffy about her not admitting to being an alcoholic. And I also have very strong feelings about her going into the jail and teaching the AA classes. Like, that's proof of people treat you how you act.
Lailah, but couldn't she have said in regards to, the religious aspect, couldn't she say, exactly the way you just explained it? Then I think all of us can be like, you know what? I get it. Right.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking that into existence, but she says she's in lifetime recovery.
Yeah. I'm just trying to give some space for editing. Maybe she did.
Okay. But what about, look. Okay, since then, the reunion. Since then, Sherri Shepherd interview. Did y'all see that? Lailah looks down.
No, Sherri Shepherd. I'm sad her show got killed. I love Sherri Shepherd. She is so funny to me.
I mean, before J HUD?
Well, yeah. Okay. On social media, I watch J HUD, the behind the scenes, like the tunnel, they do their little dancing or whatever. Mm-hmm. I watch that. Yeah, it saved her show. But I enjoy Sherri Shepherd better. Like when I comment on Sherri Shepherd, I feel like she comments back, her and Kim Whitley. So I have a little connection to Sherri Shepherd.
See, that's important.
Yeah.
Well, what did Karen say on her show?
Sherri said that she's not done fighting to keep her show on. So it's not over till she's done.
Yeah. She kind of repeated what she said on the reunion. It was no breaking news, as far as what she said on Sherri's show.
There was some breaking news though on what she said on Sherri. She was just like, basically, I'm done with talking about the arrest, the prison stint, the alcoholism. She basically said that during the reunion. I'm done. It needs to end here. Let me be clear. Okay. It needs to end right here. And I was like, wait, is she telling us that she's done talking about this?
Please.
No.
Okay. The girls are not going to let her rest. And the audacity of her to come into the reunion like, Stacey, are you done lying? Wendy, you need to, shut that up. Like all this stuff. I loved watching your mom curse you out. Like, I felt like I was hallucinating. Like, how do you come out of prison with this, holier than thou attitude still intact? It's incredible.
Only off the Talbot.
Only from Karen Huger, because I was really shocked by that. I thought, okay, I gave her grace because the interview with Andy Cohen was 1 week after she got out of prison, even though she was in prison for how many, 6 months? Mm-hmm. You would think some self-reflection, but you brought this up too, Lailah, that the fact that she's saying that, I was teaching the girls. She even said at one particular point, I got my hands on them when she first came home. Yeah. I got my hands on them. She looked at her daughter. Her daughter even kind of gave her a funny look like, what you mean? You were talking to these 20-something-year-olds. And she's like, it took me 6 decades to get here. You should not be going to prison at 60.
Yeah. Yeah, the opposite of what she was saying was actually true. The girls that were there that were like 19, 20, the prefrontal lobe is still open. You know what I mean? It makes sense for them to have made some mistakes and now they found themselves behind bars, but they're going to get over it. But her at 60, it was actually the opposite.
100%.
Okay. Fast forward to the reunion. I'm thinking, okay, there's been several weeks that's passed. How did you, Lailah, feel about her? Lailah looks down. Lailah just looked out and shaking her head. She knew what was coming.
No, I felt like it was a master class. I felt like Karen's reunion, her whole, the interview, the multiple interviews since her imprisonment were a master class, and people they treat you how you present yourself. So when Karen presents herself as, the mother goose, I know everything, I learned everything, people treat her like that. And I feel like in prison, that's why they let her teach the AA classes. if I were running, which I would never, I don't have the spirit to work in a prison, but if I were, running the prison, I would never, like, I see through stuff like that. I would never let her teach the classes.
Yeah.
But people do. People respond to how you present yourself. So it was a master class in how you present yourself. She came down and sat down and checked those ladies. Like you said, she asked Stacey, "Are you still lying?" And Stacey was like, "No." You know what I mean? She checked those ladies and they respond to it.
Yeah, which is crazy to me because you know what? Stacey could have turned. Stacey's better than me because I think I would have just seen black and looked at, "Are you still drinking?"
Yeah, exactly. That's the question. That's the question, my brother.
Because you do know when asked during the interview, when was the last time you had a drink? She was like, she was very vague in how she answered it. She was like, sometime after the arrest or something like she said. And I'm like, that could be now. I mean, like,
yeah. And people, I saw on social people were asking, is Karen sauced up right now? People were asking her about her on the reunion.
Yeah,
I saw that too.
Grace, what did you
honestly, as mad as I am at Karen right now with all those DUIs she's had, I do think it would be interesting to continue to follow her journey. I don't know if she's sober or not. I did see those similar comments to you, Lailah, where people were asking and wondering. I hope she is, for the sake of her future, if she's going to continue on the show, because I don't think the show is a place for a person who is actually struggling with their sobriety.
Yeah.
No.
One of the things that I said, recapping the reunion, was that it feels like, yes, she has an issue, an addiction, which we take very serious in regards to maybe the pills and drinking. But I also think that Karen Huger's addicted to fame. And that is the bigger issue. And coming on this platform, I don't think it's good for her, because I think it will be, and you saw during the reunion, because in the court docs, she blamed being a leader on this show as to a part of the increasing of her pills and drinking. She backpedaled on that during the interview. And I think that was a strategic question that was added by the network in there. Like, you need to backpedal on that because it's being reported that you're blaming being on the show as part of the reason why you have this issue. But what do you guys think in regards to this addiction to fame? We see it with a lot of housewives, but to see it in this way where it's being mixed with pills and alcohol.
Mm-hmm. I mean, another wife trying to show their husband they're a star too. You know what I mean? That's what I was saying earlier about a lot of wives come on these housewives franchises to show their husband that I'm a star too. You know what I mean? Yeah. But as far as the pills, I don't know if they ever name what the pills were, because I am curious. I feel like that would give me more information. If I knew what the pills were, I would be able to speak to it more, but I don't know.
She just said it was an antidepressant, but she said she wouldn't name what it was specifically.
I think with any antidepressants, they tell you don't drink on them. So I don't know.
I feel like with any sort of medication, they're like, do not mix alcohol with this medication.
Yeah.
Always. And this whole wife trying to show her husband she's a star, it makes you kind of wonder what these marriages are really like then, because you would kind of think if your husband is super rich and he's treating you really well, emotionally, all that stuff, and on top of it, you have access to his money, should that not be fulfilling enough? And maybe having the time to do, your own hobbies and things like that don't include seeking fame. What is it about these people themselves, these marriages, whatever it is, that has them seeking fame specifically? What is it about fame that is so alluring to them? I wonder.
Yeah.
I think their marriages are not, they're not what they're cracked up to be. I guess that's how you would say it. Like, they're not what they thought they would be. But why are people saying free Ray in the comments?
Well, that's a good segue to talk about, because one of the things that Karen insinuated during the interview, not insinuated, she basically said it, that she was running from her marriage the night that she got arrested. So she basically, another element to why she's been drinking and increasing her meds was because she was unhappy in her marriage. Basically giving us the setup, like, is she going to divorce Ray soon? He understands he's willing to let her go. Grace, how did you feel about, there's a couple of things. How did you feel about that element in regards to her relationship with Ray, but also her saying that she was protecting Ray? She told him not to look at the footage. She wanted to keep him separate from everything that's been going on.
Yeah.
if y'all podcast versions, please watch the video version because Lailah is correct. Between Lailah and Grace's facial expression, I'm like, what? Okay. Great.
That's that typical Karen delusion. She was not protecting Ray. She was protecting herself. She knew she said she was Thomas Jefferson's concubine and all that other weird stuff. And she didn't want to look stupid in front of that man, any more than she already has. And honestly, I really felt for Ray when I watched the body cam footage. I feel like she has just been so exhausting to him in his life. She has aged him a lot, with all of her baggage and her problems and stuff that she brings to his life. And, I think maybe some people are saying free Ray as well, because, Ray has been saying for a while, he wants to downsize. He wants to live out, his retirement, his golden years in the sun, playing golf. But this addiction to fame has Karen pushing them to live above their means and, all this other stuff that just is not conducive to what is a happy life, for them or Ray specifically, whatnot. And I don't think it's a happy life for herself either, because like you were saying, Kempire, she blames the show on her alcoholism or whatever these other issues she has, the pills and whatnot. So it's just a mess.
Yeah. Lailah? Because you had a very interesting reaction. You put your head in your hand.
Just remembering the footage. The footages.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Thomas Jefferson's concubine. Which, by the way, one of my old coworkers is, I think her name is Sally Hemmings. She's a relative of Sally Hemmings. So every time I see that, I'm like, I don't remember Karen being related to my coworker. But in any case, I had someone a couple years ago that was like, I got some tea on Ray. Because their friend had been golfing with Ray. And the tea, I was like, I cannot use this tea. The tea was, they went golfing with Ray, and Ray really is as old as he looks on TV. They were like, Ray is really old. He just wants to relax. That was the tea.
How old is Ray? He's like 80?
I think so. No, I think he's in his 80s. And they were like, he just wants to relax. So I can see where at this point in life, Karen might be too much for him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he chose a younger woman. So Karen is not that old. She's in her 60s. She still wants to do things, and he has to, if they're going to stay married, he has to, accommodate the wife that he chose. Yeah. So you can't go, in my opinion, unless you divorce her, you can't go all your life bragging about having a younger wife. Then you get old and you want to retire, and your younger wife is not ready to retire and live in Florida. She still wants to party.
Especially after the winter that we just got here in the Northeast. I know Ray was mad as hell. He probably stomping his feet around that house, and running through the breezeway. Like, what the hell? I'm ready because I'm in New York, and I'm like, I'm ready. I'm tired of this winter.
Yeah.
So I can't. Yeah. Poor Ray. Free Ray. Here's the thing. Her talking.
Now they got you saying it.
No, I've been saying Free Ray, because here's the thing. Ray, her making excuses for the reason why she's been drinking, including her marriage to Ray, I do believe that can be true. But her saying that keeping Ray separate from the case, Ray was there that night. Ray didn't need to see the body cam footage. He saw a good majority of it already. He saw how drunk she was. Her saying that she wasn't listening to the advice of her attorneys, because a lot of people were slamming the attorneys at the time, saying, why would her attorneys let her fight this case, knowing that footage was there? Her attorneys saw the footage. They told her, take a plea deal. Do you believe that Karen says that she claims that she didn't look at the footage? What do you believe?
All Karen does is lie. I do not believe anything that comes out of her mouth. She lied through her teeth the entire season about the case, that she was innocent. Like, she lied for years. I don't believe her.
And this is coming from a Dom.
I know. It's crazy.
Lailah?
I feel like they should have made her look at it, even if she said, I don't want to look at it. I feel like Karen gets her way a lot, and maybe it's too much. You know what I mean? So I feel like her attorney should have made her look at this footage like, girl, this is what you look like. You need to take this plea deal.
Yeah. But do you think she really didn't remember anything from that night?
It's well, I mean, I told y'all before, we've had this conversation when the footage came out, and I told y'all her hair is wet. I feel like she showered after possibly cheating. I feel like it was something going on that night as far as Karen cheating. Yes.
Did you see her reaction during the interview about someone possibly being in the car and running away?
Yeah.
Her reaction was kind of like, like,
Yeah.
It kind of made me kind of like, wait, was there someone there? Is she
I just
protecting?
feel like it was something. It was. I feel like it was another man involved somehow, some way. Maybe she. I don't know, but I still don't know why her hair was wet. Is my thing. I don't know why her hair was wet, and it makes me feel.
I honestly thought that was just the texture of the particular wig. You know, like those little wet
was
wigs.
Wet. Wet and wavy. It's like moist. It's not really wet. You know what I mean?
Okay. I don't know. I clearly.
Wet and wavy is moist and wavy.
No idea. No idea.
I don't know. I just feel like she was cheating on Ray this is just my opinion, no facts. But I just feel like she was cheating on Ray that night. Maybe she took a shower with a wig on because she's delusional. And I feel like when she says she doesn't remember what happened, it's kind of like selective memory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you don't want to remember what you did.
Grace, what do you think about what Lailah is speculating?
About the cheating and stuff. I remember when she told us that when we were going over the body cam footage last time. Yeah. And I did think that was particularly interesting, her perspective. But I was kind of like you, Kempire, where I did think that was just the wig. Because sometimes you see the red carpet girlies with their hair like that. So I'm just fascinated by it all, and it just makes me kind of want to push more on the whole, why doesn't Ray have something on the side as well? Even if it's just an emotional companion, like somewhere like, in Florida, like a summer house, a summer companion or winter house or whatever, It's all just really strange. This marriage, it feels like it's a marriage on paper only at this point.
If they get a divorce, please understand Ray will be moving to Florida.
Yes.
Immediately. Yeah.
He's probably know where he wants to live, the condo he wants to get.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm almost 100% sure. Guys, you're just joining us. I'm here with Lailah, Lynn, and Grace Report. The Dream Team is back together to talk about everything Potomac. The legacy of Potomac is in jeopardy. That's what I've been saying. But before we move on from those other elements and get to the Wendy of it all, because I know you both probably have a lot to say about these two, okay? Wendy and ESFO. I did want to briefly talk about Monique. So Monique at the reunion mentioned that she played a recording that we later found out from Ashley during the reality rundowns live event that they had in DC was one of her children. So she recorded one of her children. We don't know because all we heard during the reunion was this. We had no idea what was being said, but the reaction from the other ladies was sort of like, oh, and there it is. Like it was the big smoking gun. Mm-hmm. Only for Monique to come out after the reunion, probably after all the backlash. Monique posted on Threads saying a lot of time has passed since the reunion was filmed. And after getting more info since then, I don't believe Stacey had anything to do with any of that BS. I'll probably go live on IG at some point this week. She didn't, and give y'all the entire story. I haven't watched the reunion episodes yet, so let me catch up and get back to you. But I at least wanted to clear her name of all of it. Well, I don't think anyone believed you, Monique, even after that stale tea at the reunion. Lailah, what did you think about Monique's return, what she brought at the reunion, and now this statement?
I liked her return. I liked her return to the show, how she came dancing in, friend of the show, what have you. I liked her return. But her reunion gave me pause. On her return, she was saying she doesn't really care if Stacey dated Chris or what have you because they're divorced. She just hopes she can braid hair. I like that energy. But at the reunion, I don't like when people bring kids into their drama. Same with Married to Medicine, like Contessa. It's a really big turnoff to me. Like, to me, in real life, if I'm getting into it with someone, they bring their kids in, I might not ever talk to them again because I really feel like that's going too far. And so when I found out that audio recording they were playing was one of her kids talking about Stacey, asking about Stacey, I was like, this is too much for me. I've never been Team Monique, but now I'm definitely not Team Monique. And then when she made that apology, first of all, she looked good in that picture you just showed, Kempire. But other than
that outfit was not outfitting. Okay.
No, the body, the tone. She looks, she always looks good.
Hair. I love her hair there too.
Yes. She's a beautiful woman. But she said that she knew that Cookie and Chris were both liars. She said that during the season. She was like, when all that happened, she was like, well, both of them are liars. And so for her to fall for Chris's lies and blame Stacey and then later come out and say, oh, no, it wasn't Stacey. It was like, girl, you're still less than smart. Chris is still running circles around you. And I just feel like that's the type of woman Like, as a woman, you got to be careful, like, who you befriend. And sometimes when you're dealing with women who are dealing with men that are running circles around them and messing with their head, you got to be careful with them because they'll have you looking a fool. And she had everybody blaming Stacey for something that Stacey didn't do, which I'm not giving Stacey a free pass, though, because Stacey did go, I guess it was like a group date, a group dinner. She did give Chris the time of day, which she never should have done. She never gave Chris the time of day.
Why do you think she shouldn't give him the time of day, even though Monique doesn't have a problem with it?
Because it's so many men out there. Like, it's so many men. That's just reality. It's so many men out there. You don't need, and I feel like Stacey, maybe for the drama of the show, she gave Chris the time of day, but it's just too many men out there.
Okay, Grace, report your thoughts on the Monique return, the receipts, and then the apology.
Yeah, I agree with Lailah that she started off so great. So her energy was so light and breezy and positive, and it really did feel like she was in a completely different place. But I was disappointed to watch her, kind of do Giselle's bidding at the end of the day. I know that Chris is involved in, pulling the strings and stuff, but I feel like everybody always falls in line with Giselle and what she wants, who she wants to target and everything. And I do not get it. And I wish that she stepped away from that and, had a more positive relationship with Stacey and everything. The reunion, the audio clip that we couldn't even hear was a total flop. Going on Instagram, but then not actually, following through on the Instagram live that she promised as well was a total flop. Like, she was a big disappointment. I do want to see her come back, but only if we never talk about Chris again, because who really cares? I did have a question for you guys about Cookie also. So where did she come from? How did she get in contact with Chris and Karen? Who is this girl?
That's a good question.
I'm not going to say that she's a DMV socialite, but people in the DMV know who she is.
Yeah, she kind of is a socialite in DMV. Okay. I saw this lady on YouTube reading Cookie for filth. She explained exactly where Cookie came from. She explained the charges against Cookie. Like, she was reading her for filth. Yes. A fellow government employee in the DMV. She explaining, if I find a link, which I didn't share it, this lady, in the same video that she read Cookie, she also read her own mother. And that's why I didn't share the link. But if I find a link, I will share it with you. She explained exactly who Cookie is.
Oh, okay. Well,
and she's like a drama queen.
From deep DMV sources. So I've heard a lot about Cookie. I've even heard from Cookie. I'll share that during my live show on Friday. Yeah. But Cookie, you're right. Like, where did Cookie come from in regards to this group? I find it so interesting that Cookie is good friends with Karen Huger, of all people. But I did appreciate Monique's return in regards to her keeping it real when it comes to people like Cookie, when it comes to her ex. I thought her being a friend of was perfect for her because I know the only reason why she returned, she wanted to do. Did anyone watch Love and Marriage, DC?
I did.
I feel like she wanted to sort of change the narrative around that show because I feel like that show, especially when it comes to the audience, it kind of fell flat in regards to after leaving Potomac. I think she wanted to also do something different and come in a different way. And I feel like that's not what happened on Love and Marriage DC, which she has said herself. So I think coming back to Potomac, she wanted to kind of like, forget that, Monique. I'm a new change Monique with triangles. Oh, you got the book. Grace. It's going to the book part.
I've got the book, y'all.
Yes.
Okay, you started reading it. Thoughts?
I did. Yeah, so I read it with my channel members. It's so funny. But honestly, in this book, she does not like Carlos King. Like, she really goes in on him. It's juicy. She's like, he lied to me. He told me it would change this and that. He would, give a real accurate representation, but he's just a this, he's just a that. Oh my God, she goes in.
Wow. See, this is why Grace does the Lord's work. She reads the books that we don't want to do. He listens to the podcast that we don't want to listen to. We appreciate it because we realize, I mean, we've seen interviews that Monique has done and she's talked about what happened with her and Carlos and her thoughts on Carlos. But it will be interesting to read. That's the only reason why I would be reading that book. Oh, really?
Exactly. And she goes in on Chris. She says that he was like choking her and stuff like that and all this other stuff. Like, yeah. It's not good at all.
Oh my God.
So do you want to see Monique return next season, ladies?
if she's her own person, we're not talking about Chris, if she's not up under Giselle, because to me, for her to be even apologizing to Giselle, that disgusted me, to be honest with you. If anything, Giselle should have been the one apologizing to her. I don't want to see her be a minion. I'm so sick of people being minions to this, like, this flop. It's so weird to me. I don't get it. And I don't want to see that. So if she drops that, yeah.
Lailah?
I kind of feel the same way. I feel like it kind of ruins the show when everybody is sucking up to this one person. And then it's like, what is this one person giving? What is she giving to the show? You know what I mean? And so, no, I wouldn't like to see her sucking up to Giselle anymore. If she comes back to the show, I don't know. I guess she can come or she cannot come. But if she does come back, I would like to see her realizations about Stacey and Chris. Like, I would like her to clear, because a lot of people watch the show, but they don't watch social media. So I would like to see her clear Stacey, like, on the show.
Yes. Oh. Now you're giving her a storyline for next season. That's why she didn't go live on IG, because they're probably considering whether or not they're going to bring her back. Because she went on live on IG, then that probably would hurt her chances.
Honestly, a Monique, Stacey, and Wendy alliance would be so good.
I don't know if I see it happening, though.
No.
Well, especially with the way that the season went between Monique and Giselle. One of the things I said in regards to Giselle, I wish Giselle would have leaned into having sort of a Karen relationship with Stacey. Instead of really like being a mean girl with her, having this sort of like banter with her, like funny banter and sort of like shady banter, frenemy sort of relationship. I think that would have translated better on camera than everyone coming down on Stacey. Let's talk about Stacey, and we're going to get into the Wendy of it all. Thoughts on Stacey's rise? I think it's the perfect word. Grace?
Listen, so far I'm kind of 50-50 on Stacey. I do think a lot of people are kind of blind to just some of like her weirdness and whatnot. She does kind of lie quite a bit. I feel like even though her lies are not damaging the way that Giselle's and Ashley's might be, she has kind of lied or just been a little bit evasive and weird overall. So I'm not 100% sold on her, but I do love the way that she triggers the girls nonetheless.
Yeah. Lailah?
The girls need a trigger. The girls definitely need a trigger, and Stacey is the one to give it to them. I'm not mad at Stacey's lies. To me, like, they're little white lies, and it does cause controversy. Like when she lied about who filed for divorce, and she said it was her, but it was actually Timo. It's kind of like, okay, well, let's talk about that. Why are you saying that it was you? Did you both file for divorce?
Yeah.
I feel like her lies cause conversation. They're not harmful to people. She's not accusing anyone of SA or anything like that, anyone's husband. So I do look forward to her being on the show. I love a QVC type girly, like a sales girl. I love the energy she brings to the show.
I have to say this in defense of Stacey. Yes, there have been like that particular lie that you pointed out in regards to who filed for the divorce. But for the most part, all of what they try to bring against Stacey this season fell flat. It was proven wrong, or there was no hard evidence. So for the most part, them saying that Stacey lies, I was like, you guys have not proven, maybe one lie was really proven. Everything else was proven the opposite. Stacey rose above all of what they were trying to have on her this season. And this is not a Stacey Stan page over here. I'm like, at least find something, y'all, because at this particular point, y'all are finding nothing on our girl Stacey.
Like she said, still I rise. Still I rise.
Still I rise. Okay, ladies, let's get into the legacy of Potomac. Is now everyone's saying that the P is for prison. Wendy Asefo, as you know, was arrested last year. She's now in the middle of fighting. We found out from Taria Faison from the What Else Is Going On podcast that they've decided to separate their trials. Eddie has waived his right to a speedy trial. Wendy says, no, I would like to have a trial as soon as next week. There's no room in the schedule at the court for them to have it in the next couple of months. So they're set to go back in May. I know there's a lot that's been happening since this arrest, but one of the things that I mentioned was the fact that Wendy, I felt like, had a stellar reunion, from the reunion look to how she handled herself. Then there was the battle between Wendy and Karen during this reunion. First of all, how did you, Lailah, feel about how Wendy handled addressing some of her legal issues?
I did think it was too much. When she gave that narrative, I felt like that's enough. Like when you gave it one time in the police report went viral. Everybody blogged about it. I don't think you need to keep doing the narrative, especially when you bring your daughter into the narrative. Yeah. That bothered me when she was like, Cam was the one that discovered, everything was amiss. And the police officers were like, they came in and it wasn't really dirty like that. Like there were no footprints. Like her bringing her daughter into what I believe to be a lie bothered me. And I don't like that she gave that narrative again. I know she is, that's her story and she's sticking to it, but I don't love that she did that. I do think it was Eddie's idea, you know what I mean? And so I do think Eddie is going to take the fall for it, I guess you would say. But I think it was Eddie's idea and she went along with it. And so I don't like when housewives or anyone kind of like downplays the audience intelligence. Like we're not going to see through it. And I feel like Wendy does a lot of that. Like on the reunion, when she gave that narrative and things like that, it was kind of like, okay, you really think the audience is going to believe this? You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the vibe I got from it. And so I don't like that vibe. I don't think she should have said anything. But at the same time, I don't like Karen telling her to, shut the F up. I think there's a better way to say it. And I don't think Karen is the moral authority. Like Karen effed up. Karen effed up, and now she's telling Wendy not to F up. I just don't feel like Karen is the right one.
Do you think that when she said shut the F up, because remember, she first said it about when Susan, her mom, said it, Wendy's mom said it. I was like, no, I think you're cleaning it up, trying to associate what you said before, because everyone, even Giselle, your friend, looked at you and like, Karen. Because we all cringed at that scene between Wendy and her mom. Like, oh, damn. Like, I felt for Wendy in that moment.
Yeah.
I felt like Karen was trying to clean it up. Grace, what were your thoughts on Wendy at this reunion and what she talked about in regards to this case?
Yeah, well, first of all, I agree with you on the whole Karen of it all, trying to backtrack when she noticed that people were not agreeing with her, dissing Wendy over her mom and whatnot. That was a mess. But overall, I do think that Wendy had a good reunion. Honestly, like she's really been growing on me. At first, I just did not like her, but she really has grown on me. I can say that I like her and stuff. So it's just really disappointing, the situation that she and her husband are in now. And it really does not look good for the two of them. But she did a good job at the reunion overall. And I liked the way that she kind of had Stacey's back while also kind of, having, being true to herself and calling out the moments where Stacey should have kind of conceded to certain things or maybe explained some things a little bit more clearly and whatnot. Like overall, she's been such a good housewife. And it really sucks that at this point where she's at like her peak in the housewives world is when it kind of looks like that's going to be taken away from her.
Maybe we don't know it's going to be taken away. She's going to go to trial. Everyone is assuming she's going to go to jail. But if she goes to trial and she turns on Eddie or what have you, like we don't know that it's going to be taken away from her. I feel like she's going for the storyline where Eddie goes to jail. You know what I mean? And she's the innocent one.
Well, Karen was innocent too, girl.
Saying, I pray for your kids. Everyone, it feels like Giselle says it. Karen says it. I pray for your kids. I feel like that's a cop-out. I don't feel like, yes, I do. I don't think they wish harm on the children, but I feel like they just can't say like, we wish you well. They all feel like, I pray for your kids. I don't feel like that's genuine or authentic from any of them.
You don't think they go home and pray for Wendy's kids?
No, I really don't. I really don't.
I think they might.
Okay.
It's awful. It's an awful situation.
It is, but I just don't feel like it's genuine because we saw Ashley use that. All of them kept, but I pray for your kids. I was like, she's like, y'all don't even, my kids don't know your ass. That's what she said. That's what she said to Ashley.
They seem so giddy about it. It was almost creepy, especially Giselle and Ashley. Like Giselle's like, it's an open and shut case, like blah, blah. Then Ashley, Zen Wen is in the pen. Like the level of glee that those two had over it was just so gross. And then to turn around and say, oh, we pray for your kids. Really? Is that how you pray for them? That's crazy.
So whose glee do you think, who has the most glee, Ashley or Giselle?
I think
Ashley, I knew. Yeah, Ashley is so happy about
Ashley's
this.
been the one to show the most glee. However,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Giselle probably behind the scenes, which is a perfect segue because I had to save this clip because the Two Broke Girls, I mean, Reasonably Shady podcast. Sorry. There's a clip going viral from their latest episode where Giselle talks about Wendy's situation. So let's take a look at that.
Just want to give credit where credit is due. From posts created by I'm sorry, I don't know like exactly how you pronounce this. So it's WeIGO podcast. Is it
Okay.
WeIGO podcast? I don't know. I'm sorry. So they were in the courtroom and they were posting updates.
Okay.
So I just want to give credit to WeIGO or WeIGO podcast.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So so Eddie wants to waive his right to a speedy trial because there's extensive discovery or like extensive documents that they have to go through.
Okay.
And he needs time for his team to go through everything.
Okay. And so Wendy doesn't?
So this is where I think they're being strategic.
Okay.
Because it's sounding like Eddie's going to take the fall.
Well, no. If Wendy doesn't waive her right to a speedy trial, she's going to be in trial tomorrow.
So I think Wendy did not waive her right to a speedy trial.
Okay.
So they're looking for dates in March. However, there were none.
Not March. Okay, in March. Okay.
However, there were none available for a jury trial. And they say this makes me wonder if this is a setup for Eddie to take the fall. Wendy will not be able to have the trial as quickly as she wanted. The original trial date for her would have been April 15th.
Okay.
But due to the trial schedule, it will unfortunately have to be pushed out until May. She was willing to go to trial before her status conferences. So, I mean, that just makes me feel like Wendy is going to plead that she didn't know anything, that she was not aware.
But you can't say that when there's emails it's clear that you're aware.
But she still might not be aware of everything. Like,
Yeah.
I said, like, she still might not be. She will claim that she's not aware of everything, such as the multiple insurance claims, because they made multiple claims for the same thing to 3 different insurance companies,
Right.
Or that maybe even like she might decide, okay, if the robbery was staged, well, I didn't know. You know, Eddie might have did that, but I don't know.
Oh, okay, got it.
I didn't know anything about that.
So when does Pam Oliver go to trial? When does she?
Well, I guess they got that cleared up because the Pam Oliver, all the aliases were just for
Amazon,
for receiving packages.
Okay.
I have an alias with DoorDash.
I do too. I have an alias with everything.
Right.
However, come on now.
Right.
I believe. Okay, Pam. So Pam's not going to trial.
So
So shout out to our friends over at the No Chaser TV for getting that clip for us. And also shout out to our friend, the host of the Kempire After Dark live show, What Else Is Going On podcast, aka We Go. Regular Robin struggled with that title, which is fine. What did you ladies think of how Giselle has handled the Wendy of it all, specifically in that particular moment? That's a recent episode.
I feel like on camera, on the show, she's been very tactful about it. Like, she doesn't want to say too much. You can tell she's kind of like on Wendy's side, like, doesn't Eddie pay the bills? Like, put it on Eddie. But in the podcast, it was a little bit more, I don't want to say playful because it's really not funny, but I guess you see more of how she really feels, how she's like, okay, well, when is Pam going to trial? You know what I mean? Like, she does find fun in it.
Yeah. Grace?
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. Even at the reunion, wasn't she like making a comment about Wendy's like mugshot wig and stuff like that? Like, She thinks she's so funny, but her comments are so like basic and predictable. And just like, again, it's weird how gleeful she seems about this when on the show, she's kind of pretending to have some sort of a friendship with her. Like, we know that she would never speak this way about Robin. She would be coming up with all the excuses in the world for Robin. But when it comes to Wendy, it's hilarious. Yet I'm praying for your kids. It doesn't add up, and it's gross.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that clip this morning, I said something, I was like, and there it is. This is what I've been saying about Wendy and Giselle's, quote, friendship. It's not a real friendship. It's an alliance for the show. It's for them to both remain on the show, to move away from the conversations on colorism. That is the motivation behind this reunion that they have on the show. But we see it all the time, these little glimpses. As soon as she came out onto that reunion set, and Andy says, "Oh, you're going to sit here and you're going to sit next to Wendy." And Giselle's just like, "Am I going to have to hold her hand?" Like, there are so many signs and symptoms that's not a true friendship. Some people have called Wendy out, like, you've always wanted to be a bootlicker of the Mean Girls or the GEB or whatever it may be, and that could be true too. But I already knew that that's not a true friendship. But do you think her saying this on the podcast, because they know what they're saying, they know people are going to clip this and talk about this. Do you think that's a segue? Because you know they're going to probably start filming probably right before this trial starts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wendy. The future of Wendy. Okay, let's unpack the future of Potomac, because that's how we titled this. I said the Potomac legacy is falling apart. They started off this show, this series, with this whole sort of this mom group, you know, Jack and Jill, etiquette, all of that. And now we've had controversy after controversy. What do you see for the future? Do you see the future in some of the newbies? Do you see the future with Wendy and this all playing out these next couple of seasons?
Honestly, like when I think about Potomac and legacy, and I don't see Potomac as having a positive legacy, because when I look back to the first season and the way that Giselle and Robin treated Katie about her race and how she self-identifies and like their obsession with that and their weird comments about white people and just race in general, like that was shameful to me. And then, you know, Michael Darby being creepy throughout multiple seasons. Like, to me, they never had this, you know, amazing legacy that's been destroyed by Wendy or anything like that. You know, then there was Candace versus Monique, Candace's bedwench, roach, weird comments like that. Like, it has always been a mess. And I think it's always going to continue to be a mess as well. And it's just the name of the Bravo, you know, especially Real Housewives game at this point. And I do hope that the newbies, like if they stick around, they grow thicker skin and they learn how to navigate, be more like socially intelligent, I guess, so that it's not such a drag to watch the show moving forward. And, you know, for Giselle to actually share something about her life instead of just trying to meddle in everybody else's lives.
But very much like me, I don't got a lot going on, so I wouldn't be on a reality show. I feel like the pressure for Giselle to bring something next season is going to be there. But we know if the pressure is there, she's going to probably fake something. Very much like what we've seen her try to do in recent seasons, fake a relationship. Or I'd much rather her take a season off than her fake something next season.
Yeah, but maybe she can do like Candy, instead of faking a relationship with like the guy, I think it was from Summer House. Maybe she can do like Candy, how Candy, you know, people say she's not the most interesting person on her own, other than her business. She's not the most interesting person on her own, but she brought her family in, you know, bring in the aunties, bring in whoever you need to bring in, your cousin, your crazy cousin, like bring in somebody, you know, maybe we'll see Giselle do that.
Yeah. I love that about Tia, by the way. When we got to her sister, so beautiful. And then they went to that house and everything. They had that little lunch together. I thought that was really sweet. So that could be cool, you know, from Giselle's side.
She had a good storyline this season. I feel like she had a decent season. Did I love everything about Tia? No, but I don't think you should love everything about every reality TV personality. I think she had a solid season. Lailah, what do you think, though, if there is a legacy of Potomac? Like, what do you think that looks like?
I feel like it's on brand for the housewives, like to start with the Jack and Jill of it all, like the social etiquette and things like that, and in with so many people like in and out of prison. I feel like that's on brand for Bravo. So even if it might not have been what we expected from the season 1, episode 1 of RHOP. I feel like for Bravo, this is what they do with the housewives. Like Andy said, it's tongue in cheek. You know what I mean? Like they're housewives, but everything is not peachy keen. And so their legacy, I feel like it's going to be notorious. You know what I mean? RHOP. And I always felt like RHOP, like you have, when you talk about the shows on Bravo that are predominantly Black, like you have Real Housewives of Atlanta and then you have Real Housewives of Potomac. I always felt like Potomac was supposed to be different from Atlanta. Like Atlanta, I always felt like was supposed to give new money. Like my husband's in real estate, my husband's in music, whatever, it's new money. And I always felt like Potomac was supposed to be at least like Candace, like second generation wealth. You know what I mean? Even with Giselle and Robin, I felt like Potomac was supposed to be a little bit different, you know, at least second generation wealth.
Yeah.
But for Bravo to bring it down to that level, you know, I feel like they're going to be notorious, and that's on brand for Bravo. So it's actually perfect, you know, for what Bravo was doing.
Yeah. You brought up Candace. I've seen a lot of people mention, especially with Candace doing so well on Traders. How do you feel about the possibility of Candace returning? We do know that Candace did have a run-in with Giselle and Ashley during Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, the recent one that they filmed. What do you think about the possibility of Candace returning to the franchise?
I don't know what to think because it kind of messed up. Like the whole Monique and Candace thing kind of messed everything up because I never felt like anybody should have fought Candace. Like Candace, you know, she might have been a brat on the show, but let her be that brat. You know what I mean? I don't feel like it should have gotten physical. So it kind of messed everything up when it got physical. And now Monique is back. She's not giving much. So I don't know that we should have them both on at the same time. If they want to give Candace a chance, then maybe. But I do feel like it would be the same old thing that it was the first time. Yeah. I don't feel like it would be something different. Even with her being a mother, sometimes people say you change when you become a mother, but sometimes you just are who you are. Like, let's just be real. If you petty, you petty. You know what I mean? Now you just might bring your kids into it, but I'm not.
Do you want to see her return?
I would not mind.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind.
Grace, thoughts on Candace possibly returning and or what that would look like?
Honestly, I personally wouldn't really care to see Candace again. However, if she were to come back, I think it would be nice to ease her in the way that Monique is being eased in a friend of capacity. I do think that she is somebody who could get along well with Tia. Obviously, she gets along well with Wendy. I can see maybe something with Kiarna, maybe like a beef or something good. Angel, I don't know how she would mesh with those two girls. So I don't know. But I do feel like the show is missing something. And with the way that Kiarna and Angel are so sensitive, maybe we do need somebody like Candace, who, even though she too is extremely sensitive, she can also clap back and, you know, run her mouth in a way that the other two don't. So maybe that's what's missing.
Yeah. Well, word on the street is that they are currently casting for Potomac, but they normally cast after a new season regardless. Doesn't mean that they're going to find anyone. And if Ashley does end up coming back, that's probably because they didn't find anyone. But if they do end up finding someone, I could definitely see Ashley probably being one of the first to go. I don't think Angel should return just for the sake of her family, but I think she's still considering it.
Yeah, I don't know if she should return either as a housewife. You know, maybe a friend of the show, but as far as a housewife, I don't think she was given housewife. Unless you want to expose her husband and divorce him. You know what I mean? Whatever's going on there. Unless there's something there that she wants to talk about. Don't come back as you are. If you're trying to divorce that man or expose that man, then show us that. But whatever she was showing us this season was too like wishy-washy for me. I couldn't get heads and tails of whatever it was.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Ladies, before I let you go, because I'm definitely going to have you come back at some point to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm sure you both have seen the Real Housewives of Atlanta trailer for this new season. We have Pinky Cole, who just recently filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and has been making skits about it on social media. We also have K. Michelle. That's a part. She was like a big part of the trailer. Grace, what did you think of the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 17 trailer and everything that's been going on with Kenya? I just thought about that.
So starting with the trailer, I thought it was a pretty good trailer. I know that K. Michelle has such a really strong, powerful personality that could work really well with somebody like Portia. I think that last season of RHOA, I think it was the Sweet 16, we were missing somebody with that big personality to take on Portia. And I think K. Michelle could be that person. Honestly, I think I'm looking forward to this new season of Housewives of Atlanta. Although I will say, though, that I'm quite surprised that Drew is still around. I don't know why, but I just do not see her as a real housewife yet. Here she still is. Not saying I dislike her. I don't know why. I don't see her as a real housewife.
Yeah, I think it's because it's hard to find genuine people, especially in Atlanta, genuine people to add to this show. Hence why we're now recycling the girls, bringing on, like a K. Michelle onto the show. Lailah, what did you think of the trailer?
I enjoyed the trailer. I get what you're saying about Drew Sidora, but she's hanging in there. She's hanging in there, and I can't hate on anybody that's hanging in there. I love K. Michelle. I want to see what she brings to the show. I want to see Portia and her lesbian relationship, and also the guy she was dating is actually Mike from Ready to Love. For anyone who watches Ready to Love, yeah. So that's interesting to me. I want to see how that was going. I'm looking forward to it. We definitely got to get back together and discuss that.
Yes, and it's not going anywhere with Mike because she's full on this way in Bali. But this is Portia, and so the comments are hilarious because the comments like Portia just be doing anything.
It really does.
But she should have been done this. I feel like Portia. This is what she should have been done.
Really? You think this is?
Really? That's what Candy said. Yeah, Candy told us like 10 years ago.
Ladies, before I let you go, I also want to ask you about since we're talking about Atlanta, the Kenya eviction of it all. She apparently, according to court documents, has been told to be removed and her personal belongings from her hair care salon. Facial expressions.
Yeah. They've been dragging that on for a while. So I'm not surprised that it's finally, I'm happy for the landlord that, at least this person who is squatting on your property, not paying rent is out of here. But damn, how embarrassing. Listen, I'm speaking as a former landlord. Sometimes these people will come into your property and won't pay you rent. You're like, get out.
But sometimes the court be on their side. Like they do it. They know they got a little leeway. They got a couple months where they could do it.
Exactly. It is a nightmare. It really is. So I was definitely team her landlord on that. I just, and I saw the hours for the salon. It was like rarely open, or it had really odd opening hours and whatnot. So I'm not surprised that it wound up closing. Kenya to me was always someone that I saw as smart with money, like the way she went about her house and how I think she bought it in cash and renovated it slowly within her budget and everything. So this salon and the way that she did it was such a surprise to me. And I hate that she wasted her money this way. I hate that she used an opportunity to build up her salon and to promote it to do something so disgusting to another woman and just completely destroy her business like that.
I could never get over that. I could never get over what she did to Britt Edie and the fake, XXX pictures or whatever. I could never get over why she thought that was okay. And her producer, because I feel like her producer or producers knew what she was about to do, and I cannot get over why they thought that was okay. But also, secondly, I feel like when it comes to Kenya and her salon, the work she did on that salon is actually beautiful. Like from what I've seen, it's a gorgeous salon. Her home is gorgeous. And I feel like Kenya has this inner architect, like this inner interior designer that she is not living out. Like she's doing the salon, but why are you doing a salon? You're barely posting hair on social media when it seems like your true passion is like the architecture. Like you love this woodwork, girl. Like be honest about what you love. And Kenya, you could tell she loves architecture. So I just feel like maybe it's something, I don't know if someone was stopping her. It seemed like she kind of got off her game, when she got married to that guy and then things didn't work out. It seemed like she got knocked off her rocker. But if she were to be on her real path, it seemed like her path is more architecture than actually doing hair, even though she has
like
beautiful
flipping
hair.
houses and stuff like that, maybe.
Yeah.
Such an interesting take. Wow.
Yeah. Like imagine Kenya would have flipped my house show. I feel like she would be killing it.
I will say this. I said that back in whatever season that was when she was walking through what's his face's apartment in Jersey, Todd. And Todd of it all. And she put on the construction hat in her confession. I said, that's the show we need to see.
That's Kenya.
Here we are. Here we are. Thoughts, last minute thoughts. I'm sorry I'm like holding you both hostage.
I'm good.
Love it.
Last minute thoughts though on the the Kandi and Todd divorce. We haven't talked about that at all.
Well, I was about to say this about Kenya, but it goes for Kandi too. Don't let no man knock you off your rocker. Like whatever you got going on, don't let a man throw you off. That goes for Kandi as well. Because I feel like, first of all, she didn't really need to marry Todd. Like they could have been cool. They could have been together, boyfriend, girlfriend, but she didn't need to marry Todd. But I know she's from the South. She has these thoughts about marriage that are not really realistic in 2026. Like it's costing her. It's costing her. The fact that she wanted to be married when she had, her second set of kids is costing her.
Wow. Grace, thoughts on the Kandi and Todd divorce?
The news I've been hearing has been really disappointing, especially as somebody who likes to scroll on Twitter. And I was seeing a lot of these like clips from when they would do these videos from like Kandi's like dressing room or something. Like, I don't know why that man was always in there talking with the girls and stuff. And he just,
right.
He sounded like such an incel.
Yes. And men around, I can tell you, men around that age, you would think it would be like the 20-year-olds, but a lot of times men around that age hitting 50 or 50 plus, they regress, and they do have that same mindset of an incel.
Oh my God. I hope not. Lord.
Kemp, you're not in your 30s. You look good.
Ladies, it's always a pleasure bringing the Dream Team back together. Remind people what's coming up for you, what people should be on the lookout for. Grace?
Yeah, so I'm going to be continuing with my documentary series, The Rise and Fall of, so if you guys missed it earlier, I had published already The Rise and Fall of Ashton Kutcher, Ariana Grande. I'm working on one for Oprah and a bunch of other celebrities as well. And, there are some celebrities that were kind of big hits and they disappeared. I'm thinking of Lupe Fiasco. He came to mind this morning because I was listening to, what's that, Touch the Sky, that Kanye West song before he went off the deep end. And I was wondering, whatever happened to that guy? So every time that comes in my mind, now I research and I try to put together a video for YouTube, for TikTok, all that stuff, Instagram as well.
Love it.
Yeah.
And of course, all of Grace's information, her YouTube channel and her socials will be available in the description. So be sure to follow. Lailah, what is coming up for you? Because you got something coming up this week.
Yes, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on School. The link is on my channel, on my post, but I'm doing a live on, I am basically helping anyone out who's doing social media like YouTube and they want to refine their channel. They want to make their channel pop out more. I'm doing a live where I'm looking at your channel. I'm giving you advice and I'm going through like the tenets of like having a channel that pops out on social media.
Amazing. Again, guys, all of Lailah's information will be available in the description. Don't forget, I have a live show happening this Friday. It's almost sold out. But there's a live stream. There's a live stream option. So no matter where you are in the world, the country, maybe in space, you can watch the live stream and be a part of the Kempire After Dark live show. If you love what we do here, well, it's going to be a completely different experience. We're going to be talking about the hot topics, but we're going to be talking about them in the Kempire After Dark way. Go get your tickets today. The live stream you'll be able to keep for 1 week after the show. All right. Lailah and Grace were technically a part. Well, Grace hosted our London show. Shout out to London. But fun. Lailah was there in spirit because we had a special video from Lailah, which was a beautiful surprise for the audience. Ladies, it's always amazing having you both here on the channel. Don't go anywhere. But y'all, thank you all for being here. Thank you to our Kings Guards. Thank you to our channel members. Thank you to everyone that sent in a super chat. We appreciate you. Sweet Tea says something was absolutely going on with her mouth. You're talking about Karen's mouth. I think it's medication. Miss Melanie Magic says SSRIs can cause involuntary mouth movements. I believe that's been going on for a while with Karen. Sweet Tea, thank you for another super chat. Karen was too drunk to even start that card. Well, damn. Mr. Mellon, damn. Potomac legacy isn't great besides jail. It's brokey. Damn. Well, thank you all for the super chats. Don't forget to like the video. That's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. I appreciate you all being here. And the Dream Team was back, but now we're gone. See you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all.
Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. For more information on the podcast, head on over to KempireRadio.com.